Guys, let's switch over to the midfield of the Big Ten West. And Trey, we'll start with Purdue here. Purdue went 8-6 a season ago, one of kind of the weirdest seasons on paper because they were the winners of the Shadow Realm. And for their efforts, they get a brand new coaching staff. Jeff Brom is off on to Louisville. So they bring over Ryan Walters, defensive coordinator from Illinois last season. They bring in Graham Harrell to run the offense. We're going to run the air raid in over in Purdue. That's going to get fun. And Kevin Kane now is the defensive coordinator. Um, it was an interesting season to say the least last year. We won't rehash that too much, but looking forward to what they have in 2023, I think this is a little bit of a rebuilding year for Purdue as rebuilding years go. I mean, Purdue's never going to really threaten for 10 wins, right? But as far as winning the Big Ten West, I don't think that's going to happen this year. I'm really struggling to see how they consistently make a bowl game in my projections. Now, the offense should be fun. Hudson Card comes over from Texas to quarterback that. He and Graham Harrell should have a good time together. They lose a lot of their kind of go-to options in the wide receiver and tight end room, right? Charlie Jones was amazing for them last season coming over from Iowa. He's gone. Payne Durham was a great option at tight end. He's gone now. So they've got some veterans coming back, but who's going to step up and be that reliable target for Hudson Card? That's still yet to be decided. The left side of the offensive line is a tenured group, but that right side is entirely new. They're going to need a new guard, new tackle. And as you work into an air raid system, you're going to need kind of a systemized approach to playing the offensive line. I wonder if Purdue can install that in year one. Defensively, it's an entirely new defensive line, which I think is really going to hurt, certainly as they try and defend the run. Nick Carraway was really solid last year. A Bryan, Texas native, actually, from just down the road from where we're sitting. He's a good linebacking option. And then they've got some fun names in the secondary. They've got Marquise Wilson transferring over from Penn State. Salim Turner Muhammad comes over from Stanford. All in all, they should have a decent pass rush, but I'm really concerned about the skill position. So for me, I've got them somewhere in that 6-6, 5-4 range. I think officially locking in a 5-7, just missing a bowl game with that schedule. Where are you? The air raid can be very, very tricky to install in year one, specifically if you don't have kind of returning stars at wide receiver.
The Graham Harrell offense might be a little bit different. I do think that they were running something similar when Jeff Brom was there, so it's not going to be a huge change, but it does feel like a rebrand for Purdue, doesn't it? It feels like they're kind of shifting strategies. They hired a defensive-minded head coach, a guy that was a defensive coordinator at Illinois before becoming head coach at Purdue, and that's intriguing to me. I'm not sure how that's going to work out for them in year one. That's going to be a big philosophical change. But, like we've said with a lot of these teams in the Big Ten West, there's enough potential wins on the schedule that you can get excited about the year, right? You're not looking at this season, if you're a Purdue fan, and thinking all hope is lost. We have a new staff. We have a new quarterback. I think they went into the portal and got a really good quarterback in Hudson Card, a guy that if he wasn't, competing with Quinn Ewers at Texas, might have been the starter at Texas last year. I don't want to get too deep in the politics of that, but I think he was good enough to be the starter at Texas last year. And, I think he could be a really, really good. I don't know that the drop-off is going to be huge from what they had in Abe O'Connell last year, but the skill position talent that he's working with is definitely a step backwards when you think about losing Charlie Jones. I'm interested to see in where they take the running game, because that was not a priority under Jeff Brom. They were consistently just okay with being towards the bottom of that statistical category. So I don't know. Is Graham Harrell going to kind of revitalize that? You've definitely seen that in pieces. I think he does have more of a run-focused air raid than what Jeff Brom was running at Purdue. So I don't know. It's going to be fascinating. I'm not really hot or cold on Purdue right now. I think it's going to be maybe not a Big Ten West championship season, but I think they can still be solid.
I think, getting to a bowl game isn't that tough. I'm a little bit higher on Syracuse than some, and so I've got them dropping their third non-conference game. They go Fresno State to Virginia Tech, and then host Syracuse before they get into Big Ten play. If they are going to make a bowl game, it's going to come down to beating teams like Minnesota. It's going to come down to beating teams like Syracuse. And so 7-5, I think, is certainly in play. I don't have them getting to that this year. I think if you have a fly in the ointment in an air raid, it can be very difficult to get on the same page. That defense, I kind of willing to bet they take a little bit of a step back as well. So not quite as high on the Boilermakers this year. I do have them hitting or going under that 5.5 mark.
Gracious him! How about that?